Okay, welcome everybody to the high school lacrosse game of Eastlake versus Bainbridge Island. Tonight we would like to start our game with the national anthem, and we would like to welcome Emmanuel Fonte. So without further ado, Emmanuel Fonte.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to the Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week. You are watching the Lacrosse Network on YouTube. Good evening, everybody. My name is Steve Willits, and I am coming at you live from Sammamish, Washington, Eastlake High School to be exact, where tonight Eastlake takes on Bainbridge in what should be a great ball game between two teams with very impressive records. And joining me tonight, the Washington Lacrosse Hall of Famer, Tony Olney. And Tony, talk about a battle of two teams that are playing solid ball. This is it.
Yeah, this should be a really good matchup. Both teams basically have identical league records. You're going against the new coach in Chris O'Doherty. Just came off the championship stealth game, got a big pedigree, but you realize that this is the fourth coach in 4 years for these seniors at Eastlake. Where here you have Coach Jack Visco for Bainbridge, 12th year at the program, multiple state championships under his belt, Mercer Island, Bainbridge. It should be a very interesting contest. I'd say kind of an up-and-coming D1 team in Eastlake, and Bainbridge just trying to hold on to their elite status right now.
And again, you are watching the Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week. The Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week is pleased to introduce to you our presenting sponsor, Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk Ready to Drink is a delicious protein-enhanced beverage that helps promote workout recovery, lean muscle growth, and sustained energy. From the first face-off to the final whistle, every fast break, ground ball, and set play is a battle. Protein helps you win it. Find Muscle Milk at your local convenience or grocery retailer or at the gym. Muscle Milk, workout recovery fuel, give me strength. And you talk about two teams who need some strength. We're seeing it right now. The game is underway here between Eastlake and Bainbridge. Eastlake coming into this game with a one-game lead in the King East Conference. Bainbridge trailing Eastside Catholic by one game in the Metro Conference. Two teams with a lot to play for as they're both looking at their second to the last regular season game of the year. And Bainbridge with the ball early on here. The Spartans looking to do something. And a couple of players in particular that we'll be keeping an eye on. One in particular, number 3 out there for Bainbridge.
Yeah, Jake Knotzman, he's head and shoulders the best goal scorer in the league right now. The only kid with 50 goals. No one is even in the 40s in the rest of the league. Plus, he distributes the ball well, 37 assists. So he's a complete player, heading off to Fairfield. Outstanding lacrosse player.
Yeah, 87 points on the season. That's quite the accomplishment for a single season, isn't it?
Well, as a junior, he broke the league record for points with 122. So the kid is a pure scorer.
And there's a turnover as Eastlake now with the possession. So we look up on the clock, 11 minutes to go here in the first quarter as we are just underway here at Eastlake High School. Again, Eastlake with an overall record of 9-4 on the season. Bainbridge with a 10-8 record. However, a number of those losses coming out of conference, out of league against some very tough opponents.
Right, and you look at their league schedule. If Bainbridge could muster 5 more goals in 4 games, they'd have 4 victories. They've had some really tight losses this year. Overtime, 1-goal games.
And you cannot read too much into that 10-8 record, can you? Knowing that those games were not against any pushovers, that's for sure.
No, Bainbridge plays a full 20-game schedule against tough opponents.
And here comes Jake Nossman already. Nice passing there. That was number 5, Max Wickland, throwing the ball over to number 35, Eric Nim. Cannot convert the shot. We've got a collision there between Nim and number 12 for Eastlake, Drew Doherty, the senior captain.
Yeah, we're going to have a 30-second hold against Kevin Mason, or excuse me, against Eric Nim on a hold there. So we'll see the Eastlake man-up go here early.
And I should mention the goalkeeper for Eastlake, a freshman, Abe Escarda. Escarda, again, a freshman playing, from what we can tell, every single minute of the season thus far. Has a 9-4 record overall, 43% save average.
Yeah, Chris, Coach OD said he's just really come a long ways from being scared between the pipes to being a real leader now.
Eastlake working the ball around, and you mentioned a minute ago, Chris OD, a big week for him. He spent some time up in Canada this weekend.
Yeah, as a defensive specialist for the Stealth, he came out of Rutgers, got drafted, came out here, and, was just at Bellevue for the last few years.
Shoot and score. That's number 18 for Eastlake, Davis Caldwell. Caldwell with his 24th goal on the year, and Eastlake up early 1-0 with 9:30 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, outstanding ball movement by Eastlake there. They just caught Bainbridge not being able to rotate fast enough, and when you're in close on a goalie like that, a little fake high and going low is probably the best shot you can make there. So Caldwell did a nice job of putting it home. But going back to Coach O'Doherty, he comes out here, he's adopted by the Bellevue family, wins a couple state championships as assistant coach, but, now gets an opportunity to take over the Eastlake program and build it up to a power just like Bellevue.
So not a bad 1-2 gig for O'Doherty. He gets to play for the Washington Stealth, a team that's played in the championship game of the National Lacrosse League 3 of the last 4 years. And then when he's not doing that, gets to coach a potential powerhouse here in Eastlake.
Yeah. Well, it shows having the Stealth in town is so important to lacrosse overall, from youth on up, where you can get a guy with a lot of experience like that, NCAA Division I experience, indoor experience, plays for the Denver Outlaws in the Professional Outdoor League. That kind of experience is priceless.
And certainly when he talks, that means the players are going to listen then, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. When you talk about pedigree, he certainly has a pedigree there.
Shot sails just wide of the goal, and we immediately get a whistle here.
We've got a photographer in the background who is right behind the goal, and with the ball going 70, 80 miles an hour with no pads on, that's quite dangerous. Looks like a valuable camera that could be blown up.
So the referee wisely stops play while the photographer moves to the side, and yeah, not only the camera, but the photographer himself. We don't want him getting hit either, and we've seen that before in lacrosse. And
yeah, that's a hard rubber ball. Those of you that are not familiar with lacrosse, it looks like the sticks might hurt you. The sticks don't hurt that bad. The ball hurts.
Yeah, and Tim Exton from 715 Media, who's recording this game with us here, he kind of looked back at me, and I think he knows that a photographer doesn't want to get hit with that ball, and he's very wisely up here in the booth with us. I don't think Tim has to worry about it too much, and hopefully that photographer down there doesn't either. Notzman with the ball. We've talked about him already, and we will continue to talk about him. 87 points on the year. Shot on goal, and the freshman, Escarda, making the stop. Unfortunately for him, he throws it right back to Notzman. And then we get a whistle.
Interference call on Bainbridge. Eastlake ball.
So when the goalie has the ball in the crease, in his stick, or anytime the goalie's in the crease, but the goalie with the ball in his stick in the crease, if he is touched by an attacking player, it's an automatic. Well, it's a play on. Then if the play doesn't continue, it's a free clear at midfield.
So Eastlake already holding on to a 1-0 lead, looking for more here right now. And we just got speaking of Bainbridge, we just got an update also. As you know, Tony, we are in the midst of the nice save there by Bainbridge. That's number 7, Reynolds Yarbrough, the junior goalkeeper. Another goalkeeper who's played just about every minute this year, and Yarbrough showing his strength, making the stop there. So we were just told from Mike McQuaid that Bainbridge's girls team lost in the semifinals tonight to Lake Sammamish.
Well, that is a shock. I mean, that is a huge upset. I mean, you can just basically chisel it in stone that Bainbridge is going to be in the championship game. Hall of Fame coach out there. That's an amazing upset.
And Lake Sammamish having a very good season as well, as they came into the tournament very highly seeded. So we await a score for the other game.
Yeah, I know Mercer Island's at Lakeside, and some people were thinking that might be the championship game right there.
Oh, and we just got a score here. Lakeside beating Mercer Island tonight 14-6. So your championship game will be Lakeside versus Lake Sammamish on Friday, a game that we will carry right here on the Lacrosse Network, right on your YouTube channel here. Again, Lake Sammamish and Lakeside, that game to be played at Mercer Island High School. As I look over to Mike McQuaid, a 7:30 start, I believe. And again, a game that we will be broadcasting right here on this channel.
Yeah, and if you're a youth, if you're a girls' youth player, wear your jersey, you get in free that game. So we'll be out there with my girls, and I'm just surprised. You know, usually it's certainly no shock that Lakeside is there, but quite shocking that Lake Sammamish made it. And congratulations to them. You know, and that's, I think, sometimes the girls' high school league could use a little shake-up, so should be good on Friday.
And it's always fun to see some new teams in there as well. So congratulations to both of those two teams. However, it's not over yet. They've got plenty to play for this Friday night. The Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week is presented by Muscle Milk. From the first face-off to the final whistle, every fast break, ground ball, and set play is a battle. Protein helps you win. Muscle Milk, workout recovery fuel. Give me strength. Wrecking Ball Demolition is a proud sponsor of the Lacrosse Network Washington High School Lacrosse Game of the Week. Wrecking Ball Demolition offers full building demolitions, neater, cleaner, faster. Wrecking Ball Demolition, demolition with a difference. To learn more, visit wreckingball.demo.com or call 425-339-3111. And we are just about ready to get back to action here at Eastlake High School. Once again, you are watching the Washington State Lacrosse High School Game of the Week on the Lacrosse Network. An early goal by Davis Caldwell has given the Eastlake Wolves a 1-0 lead over the Spartans. We'll see if this lead holds up as we continue play here midway through the first quarter.
You know, Abiscard has got 3 saves already, and a big concern of Coach Visco and his Bainbridge team is they take a lot of shots during the game, but too often they hit the goalie. You know, just not the right shot selection.
Nostman up on top again, wearing the number 3. He's got the ball right now. Takes the shot, scores! Nice shot by Nostman. Lower left-hand corner, bounces the ball into the goal, and just like that, we've got a tie ball game.
Bainbridge goal by
you know, and I'm certain that's the conversation that Coach Visco had with his Bainbridge squad is, you know, you're making a freshman goalie look good by throwing the ball into his stick. Let's get some bounce shots. Let's put it offside. In that particular case, Knotsman did put it stick side, but he bounced it. He's such a good shooter. I'm okay with that. Just get the ball on the ground. Make that goalie go from the stick above his shoulder down between his legs.
And again, Nostman with goal number 51 on the year. And as you mentioned, 122 points last year. He's quite the phenom, and showing why on that play.
Yeah, real outside chance for 100 points this year.
Face-off is finally covered by Eastlake. And here they come, throwing the ball over to number 3. That's Josiah Fonte. Being guarded very closely there by number 21, Adam Gargas, the senior defenseman. And Eastlake taking their time here, being very patient, trying to get something going as they look to retake the lead after a Jake Nostman goal knotted this game up at 1-1.
You know, and patient offense is good against a pressure defense. You know, Bainbridge is they're going to push out. They've always played good pressure defense. They've always pushed out. If you can be patient, you can get them out of position and get them in a long slide situation.
Eastlake still looking for the shot. Fired and missed. That's number 13.
Shot by Danny Keogh.
Danny Keogh, the senior who has 27 goals on the year. Keogh, the second leading goal scorer for the team this year. Shot and missed. That is number 18, Davis Caldwell, looking for his second goal of the game. Fires that one just a bit to the left. And Bainbridge Island, with 5:27 to go here in the first quarter, regains possession.
Yeah, Caldwell put his toe in the crease there after he shot, so that's why Bainbridge got the ball.
Yarborough getting the ball up ahead. And on the attack, here comes Bainbridge. Spartans looking for their first lead of the night as the clock ticks down just a little under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter of this 1-1 ball game. Should point out that the Lacrosse Network will also be bringing you both Division I and Division II state championship games on June 1st. You never know. One of these two teams could be in that Division I game. Or maybe both. They've got quite a few teams that are going to be contending with them, including a couple of big powerhouses that, Tony, you had the chance to watch last week in Mercer Island and Bellevue. Playoffs should be fun.
Yeah, certainly the two teams to beat, but, you know, I was just talking to Coach Fisco, and I've talked to other people. You know, we're beginning to see some parity finally in Division I, which was really healthy. We need that. Pretty soon it's going to be any given day, one of the top 10, 12 teams can win, and you've seen this year. We've seen teams win, then lose to common opponents. There's been a lot of upsets this year, a lot of close games, and, you know, I still think Bellevue's the team to beat, but Mercer Island almost figured out a way to do it.
Yeah, 1-goal game, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Collision there, ball gets loose, and we've got a few whistles as well as a handful of flags flying through the air.
Boy, Eric Nim, he's getting himself in the scorebook by penalties. That's the second one of the first quarter. Looking like I'm going to be in for a trip or a push. I didn't see the referee signal there, but
and Nim's certainly not afraid to be aggressive there, and he's, like you said, shown it twice now as he puts himself back in that box for the second time. Just looking at the standings here a bit, again, Bellevue with a 12-0 record in league, Mercer Island 11-1, Eastside Catholic 10-2, and then you've got these two teams looking at 9-3 records each.
Yeah, this is an important game. You know, Eastlake can secure number 1 in their conference or division with a win.
And Bainbridge trying to keep hope alive of potentially getting up there with Eastside Catholic. Shot on goal. Off to the left. That was number 11, Austin Caldwell.
Yeah, and it's important for Bainbridge to earn a home game. You look at this, Bainbridge on a Tuesday night is out here in the plateau starting at 8 o'clock.
It's a very good point.
You know, they're not going to be home till midnight. You know, that's tough on these kids to make that kind of trip. So having a home game is going to be important in the playoffs.
And this team probably knows that better than any, since half of their games, or more than half of their games, coming on this side of the water. As anytime they have to play over here on a weekday night, it's a late one for those guys. Ball continues to be loose on the ground, finally picked up by Bainbridge. Sean Mayer coming away with it, one of the team captains with 13 goals and 11 assists on the season, and we have another penalty. Flags all over the field right now, Tony.
Yeah, we're going to have a technical foul push there. Looks like on Alex Prather. You know, and Prather for Eastlake, he's the one that's gotten the assignment of Knotsman. So he's got his hands full there. That was a transition play. Just unfortunately got caught up with the Bainbridge player and drew the 30-second penalty. So we were hoping for a good battle tonight, a close game, and so far we're getting one.
1-1 with just a little under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Eastlake started off the scoring with a Davis Caldwell goal. Bainbridge coming right back down and getting a shot by Jake Nostman, his 51st goal of the year, to give them a win. Should point out that final score that we mentioned earlier, or we mentioned the result of the game, we didn't mention a final score. Lake Sammamish beating Bainbridge 14-11 tonight to secure that other spot in the championship game for the girls on Friday.
Shot by Josiah Fonte, just wide. Eastlake ball.
Great night for lacrosse, too, by the way. For those of you who might be watching from out of the area, a very rainy evening last night, and weather forecast is calling for a lot more rain over the next few days. If you're going to pick a night for lacrosse, this is the one. And 65 degrees right now, or thereabouts. Not a bad condition for these guys to be playing in at all. Nice pass there. We get another flag. And a late push as well, as a couple of players kind of getting into each other's faces. That's number 3 for Eastlake, Josiah Fonte, going at it with number 27, Reed DeLeese, the defensive player.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get 2 penalties, one for the illegal body check and then one for the extracurricular after the whistle. So I'm not sure if they're going to be 2 men down. Looks like it looks like LaRoche got the other penalty. So one of them is going to be unreleasable. DeLeese, the penalty there is going to be unreleasable for the unsportsmanlike. What that means is if Sammamish scores within the first minute, he's staying in the box. He's not released on the goal.
All right, boys, make them pay.
So Eastlake certainly with some incentive here. 2:08 showing on the clock. Again, 1-1. Goals are going to be a premium, it looks like, tonight. This is a big, big possession here for Eastlake. You're patiently looking for that shot. Fonte fires one just to the left.
Yeah, it's an outstanding save by Reynolds Yarborough. Reynolds is an incredible story. 2 years ago in the state championship game, he comes in as an untested freshman. Bainbridge has been having goaltending troubles. Comes in, cool as a cucumber, has an outstanding game. They didn't win the championship, but he played solid, and he's been in the starting lineup ever since. Hasn't missed a minute since.
And again, only a junior, so Yarborough will look to be a 4-year starter next year. And showing it tonight as he is certainly bringing his A game here this evening for this big matchup.
Well, great vision, real quick hands. Not a big guy, real quick. Just a good formula for a solid goaltender.
With 1:20 to go here in the first quarter, we just complimented him, and there he goes, Yarborough, with a nice save off of a bounce shot. And as soon as we say that, he throws it right back to Eastlake, right to Fonte. He comes in, gets drilled by number 20 for Bainbridge. That was Nick King, the senior defenseman. And we immediately get a whistle.
Yeah, it's going to be an illegal body check. That was a late hit. It was well out of his stick by the time that he was contacted there. And that's all part of just improving the safety of the game. Yeah, we want to be able to hit in lacrosse. We want to be able to have some body contact. Makes it a great game. But we got to play within the rules, and we got to keep players safe. We want to cut down on concussions and other collision injuries. Just a matter of safety.
Clock showing 1:07 to go here in the first quarter. We've been stuck on that 1-1 score for a while now. Eastlake looking to change that, however.
Yeah, fortunately for Bainbridge that both penalty times had released, so they're only down 1 man right now.
And the referee signals that we're back in action here, and here comes Eastlake. Eastlake looks to take a shot off the mark. I believe Yarborough got part of that ball. That was number 18, Davis Caldwell, with another shot. 51.3 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and Bainbridge, a very nice defensive stand there.
Yeah, outstanding hustle by Gargas to get to the end line to get that ball.
Nice spin move there by number 17. That's Greg Shea, the senior, Shea with 19 goals and 12 assists on the year. He's one of the team captains and did a very nice job to get through a few defenders on that play.
Outstanding penalty kill by Bainbridge. You're down 2 men for 1 full minute, then you're down 1 guy, and you're able to kill that off that penalty. That's just it's deflating for Eastlake, and it's uplifting for Bainbridge.
Especially if they're able to score here. As Shea still with the ball. Finally, we get another whistle with 12.4 seconds to go on the clock.
Yeah, we're going to get a slash on Eastlake.
Quite the turn of events as Eastlake looking like they were in pretty good shape to take the lead. As you mentioned, a nice penalty kill by Bainbridge. And Bainbridge now with an opportunity to, and they're going to have to do it quickly, possibly get something going here with 12 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, he ended up calling a hold on that. Referee Tharp called a hold on that. This is always a tough one. If you have possession of the ball during a penalty situation, you get the ball in the second quarter, there'll be no face-off. But with 12 seconds, might be worth trying to take a quick goal, but if you don't see it right away, just hold on to it, and that way you don't have to worry about the face-offs to start the second quarter.
Good chance we might see Jake Nossman here, number 3.
Could be. It's interesting. Now we're playing 5-on-4. The penalty box is pretty full right now. Looks like Bainbridge is just going to hold it for the second quarter.
Yeah, they are watching that clock tick away. 2-1. And there's the horn, and that's an interesting horn at that. A little firefighter action there as well. Kind of enjoying that one. And we've come to the end of the first quarter of play with our score. The Eastlake Wolves won, the Bainbridge Spartans won. From Spokane to Seattle and Linden to Camas, high school lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in Washington State. Now in its 4th decade of play, 4,000 student athletes attending 200 schools in Washington State will play high school lacrosse this season. To learn more about high school lacrosse in Washington State, visit WashingtonHSLAX.com. That's WashingtonHSLAX.com. And quite frankly, a channel or a page that many of you might be on already, as we are broadcasting the game from WashingtonHSLAX.com, as well as the Lacrosse Network on YouTube. Tony, only any surprises there in the first quarter?
I was surprised how sloppy the first quarter was. You had a lot of penalties. You had some penalties that didn't need to be taken. You had some turnovers on clears. You had some shots in the goalie's stick. Just surprised just late in the season, as sloppy as it was in this first quarter. And it might be just the fact that these teams are pretty evenly matched, that you're grinding down to the end of the season. You're starting to look ahead of the playoffs. So these two games are very important. Both Eastlake and Bainbridge this week, if they go 2-0, they really just set themselves up well for the playoffs. But if they start losing going into the playoffs, first of all, you don't want to do that. And then, you're going to get a lower seed. You may have to start on the road. You're going to be on the road. So this is really an important game, and maybe that's just it. Maybe they're a little too keyed up for this game.
Now, how important is momentum going into the playoffs? You've coached at this level for a number of years. You've been to a couple state championship games. Is it something that you're concerned about, or is it something that when you get to the playoffs, it doesn't matter? You start over at 0-0, and it's no big deal. A little bit of both. Just for your team psyche, you obviously want to go and hop. But the key point is you want to go in healthy. That's it. If you're healthy going into the playoffs, then it doesn't matter. You could have lost your last game by 20 goals. The playoffs is a new story. But if you start getting some key injuries and guys are wearing down, you got to figure out a way to get them back to 100% by next week. And we did mention earlier, both of these teams with one more game left in the season. Bainbridge playing a home game on Friday against Auburn Riverside. That's a 7:30 start. And Eastlake will be playing right back here on Friday. Big game for them. Mercer Island comes in at 8 o'clock on a Friday night. Quite the way to end your regular season. Shot on goal, no good. Number 17 with a shot. That was Greg Shea once again. And coming away with the ball for Eastlake, number 40, Carter Heck, the freshman defensive player.
Looks like we're going to have a slash on Keegan Ingrassi. Solid senior for Bainbridge. Played with his dad. His older brother's playing right now at the collegiate level. A good lacrosse name, but you hate to take a slash that far away from your own goal.
Tony, that is the one thing that I do enjoy about the sport. It seems like the more we start watching it here, especially for somebody like yourself who's been involved for a number of years now, you're starting to see the next generation come up, aren't you?
Sure. You know, we've got third-generation players now. You know, the game's been here for 40 years, and you're seeing second and third generation. Adam Smith, who's an official in the league, you know, played at Bryant. They were in the playoffs for Division I NCAA just last weekend. He's a third generation. You know, his grandfather, Everett Smith, was one of the pioneers of lacrosse out here.
And again, we mentioned it during the one of the reads a few minutes ago. 4,000 student athletes playing it in Washington State alone this year. The sport continues to grow. One of these days, WIAA, one of these days. Ball sails just a little bit wide to the right.
Yeah, you know, see, I've said it before in the broadcast. I think, you know, the WIAA, they're going to lose lacrosse. They're going to lose lacrosse just like they've lost soccer or are losing soccer. They need to grab lacrosse and keep it in the high schools so these athletes can play for their high school. That's part of the experience.
And certainly numbers will dictate that, and as the numbers grow, the voices are going to get louder, and at some point something's got to give, we hope. Stay tuned. Nice passing there by Eastlake. Caldwell fires the ball back out. Ball is loose. Still rolling around on the ground there, and finally, ball is out of bounds by Eastlake. Bainbridge ball.
Yeah, and that's a signature of Bainbridge lacrosse right there. They hustle, they work hard all over the field. They're always in great condition. If you look at the Bainbridge, they really play maybe 2 midfield lines, so really good conditioned athletes.
So we're still looking for that third goal of the game. These two teams tied up 1-1. Eastlake scoring first on a Davis Caldwell first quarter goal. Bainbridge then getting it even with a Jake Nostman goal. And that's where we stand right now as we come upon the 10-minute mark, 10 minutes remaining in the second quarter of this very, very tight ball game.
Yeah, I'm really kind of surprised by the score. I figured we'd have a few more goals than just 2 by this stage of the game. But, you know, good goaltending on both ends.
Good goaltending, and you never know with lacrosse, right? You could all of a sudden just blink your eyes and there's 4 or 5 more goals on the board. We've seen that before many times, so we'll see what happens. Shot on goal there by number 11. That was Keegan Ingrassi. You mentioned earlier, Ingrassi with 28 goals and 15 assists on the season. Not easy to get 28 goals when you've got a guy on your team that has 50, right?
Yeah, that's not a lot of balls to be distributed there, but, you know, the one thing about Knotsman, he's not selfish. You know, 37 assists, you know, he is not selfish at all. That was an odd clear by Eastlake there.
Yeah, Escarda just firing that one down the field, and didn't work out quite the way I think he was hoping it would. I was going to say planned, but I'm not sure there was a plan there other than just to clear it. And
you know, Eastlake's been patient on defense. They need to start being patient on their clear.
Bainbridge again looking to set up a play. They have yet to lead in this game. 1-1 score here with 9:10 to go in the second quarter. Knotsman with the ball. Works it around to the other side. Looks to take a shot. Nice defensive play there. That was number 21 for Eastlake. Alex Prather, the junior. Shot on goal and score. 17, Greg Shea with his first goal of the ball game, 20th on the year. And he gives Bainbridge a 2-1 lead with 8:40 to go in the second quarter. Super
hustle by Shea to get to that loose ball there. I wouldn't consider that a garbage goal, but it almost seemed like a knuckleball. It got deflected. I really think the Eastlake goaltender, he just didn't see that very well. But, you know, a shot on goal is a good shot if it goes in.
It just froze Escarda for a quick second, and that's all it needed.
Yeah, we had a good angle on that. That just was an unusual-looking shot. I'm just not sure if it was deflected or it came out of his stick kind of funny. Almost like a knuckleball.
Bainbridge winning the face-off here. Momentarily, I should say, as the ball is immediately loose. Whoa, and that was quite the hit there. Number 25, Max Wyson, the senior, coming in and just drilling one of the Eastlake players. And he's going to get called for it.
You know, I got to really say that was a foolish play by Wysong. First of all, what you had was Davis Caldwell didn't have a stick, and you cannot play the ball if you do not have the stick in your hands. So he was just kicking it, I think, to get the whistle. But there he is standing there unprotected without a stick in his hand, and Wysong took a run at him. And that's just it's a foolish penalty. It's not a safe way to play lacrosse.
Unfortunately, nobody hurt on that play. We do have a timeout with 8:29 to go here in the second quarter. And our score, Bainbridge 2, Eastlake 1. You are watching the Washington State Lacrosse High School Game of the Week on the Lacrosse Network. The Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week is presented by Muscle Milk. From the first face-off to the final whistle, every fast break, ground ball, and set play is a battle. Protein helps you win it. Muscle Milk, workout recovery fuel. Give me strength. Wrecking Ball Demolition is a proud sponsor of the Lacrosse Network Washington High School Game of the Week. Wrecking Ball Demolition offers full building demolitions, neater, cleaner, faster. Wrecking Ball Demolition, demolition with a difference. To learn more, visit wreckingball.demo.com or call 425-339-3111. Hey, Think Fit! Sticks to Schools is the youth fitness program of the Washington Stealth. With Sticks to Schools, Stealth players encourage fitness and healthy lifestyles by introducing lacrosse to your school or youth group. To bring Sticks to Schools to your school or youth group, or learn how your business can support this initiative program, visit stickstoschools.com. That's sticks, the number 2, schools.com. And once again, I want to give a shout out to the Washington Stealth for another successful year. Unfortunately, they took a little trip up to Langley this weekend in British Columbia, came up 1 goal short of winning another NLL championship. But they did make it to the championship game for the 3rd time in 4 years, and we certainly thank them for everything they've done and bringing a little more of an awareness of the game of lacrosse to this community. Shot and score! Eastlake tying it up. Number 13 on the shot. Danny, oh no, I was number 3 on that play.
Eastlake goal by number 3, Josiah Fonte.
That was Josiah Fonte. As I looked up, I saw 13 running by. It was actually Fonte, the leading goal scorer for Eastlake, scoring his 29th goal of the season and tying up this game at 2-2 with 8:08 to go in the first half.
You know, and you heard me get on Wysong a little bit about taking that hit down there, but you can see the problem with it. A tight game like this, you give up a man down you shouldn't give up. Plus, it's a non-releasable penalty, so Eastlake is still at an advantage for the full minute.
And I'm sure Wysong is sitting down there right now hoping that his error of judgment only cost his team 1 goal. Here comes Eastlake once again. Nice pass by Caldwell. Shot on goal! Just off the bar. Doesn't quite go in there. Missed opportunity for Eastlake. That was oh so close. Bainbridge still playing a man down. See what Eastlake can do here, if they can take advantage of this during a 2-2 game here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I'm sensing that might have been a 2-minute penalty. The officials have that discretion.
That was a shot by number 13. Finally, Danny Kehoe fires another one at the goal. Doesn't get it to go. And Bainbridge turning the tables and now bringing it down onto their attack side of the field.
You got him, Drew. Nice job, Drew. Way to go, Drew.
Nice move there by number 11 for Bainbridge. Thought about shooting it, put up his stick, and all of a sudden there was no ball there. That was Ingrosky again. And another flag as we continue to play here.
Yeah, we're going to have a delayed penalty on a slash.
Boy, Eastlake continuing to move the ball down the field here. That's Danny Kehoe still. Another flag flying through the air. Yellow laundry all over tonight. Shot sails wide to the left, and the whistle will stop play with 6:38 to go here in the second quarter.
It's going to be interesting. If this is a penalty on 2 different people, Bainbridge is going to be down to 3 defenders and their goaltender. This is something you don't practice. Yeah, and that's what it looks like.
So Bainbridge, the players left on the field are strapped with quite the daunting task here, as they're going to be asked to prevent Eastlake from going up.
So it looks like you had Knotsman with a slash down here on the ride, and then apparently you had another slash in the offensive end of the field. You still have Wysong's non-releasable. I'm thinking now that the referee called a 3-minute non-releasable on that for leading with his head in on a defenseless player.
And we're looking across the field there, and sure enough, 3 Bainbridge players all taking a knee side by side by side. Not a good thing if you are a Spartans fan, as Eastlake looking like they are in very good position to potentially take the lead here midway through the second quarter of play.
Yeah, and this is just something, this is a rarity in lacrosse when you have just 3 men on defense on your man down. It's just not one of those games, but the way this game's been going, like you said, there's been a lot of laundry in the field. Are the referees calling it too tight? Maybe they are calling it too tight, but really most of these fouls we've seen, I've seen them from up here, and with my old eyes, I can still see that they're penalties.
Speaking of referees, they're still kind of working some things out there over at the scorers table as we
yeah, you know, and Sean Upchurch, Ed Tharp, they're both veteran officials, so they know how to manage a game. But like I always say in the officials' defense, there's 20 kids in the field with being covered by 4 eyes over a huge surface. So it is a challenge for these officials to keep control of the game.
And these officials out here are certainly doing their part to take control of this game, as it looks like we finally got everything squared away. Referee heading over to pick up his flag, and we are just about ready to get back underway here at Eastlake High School, where the Eastlake Wolves and the Bainbridge Spartans continue their 2-2 battle. Shot on goal, score! Number 11, Austin Caldwell, getting his 21st goal of the year. Eastlake 3, Bainbridge 2.
You're just asking too much from your defense there. You're asking too much from your goaltender to defend like that. 6-on-3, it's really not fair. Well-placed shot there by Caldwell.
So again, Eastlake taking advantage of the man-up opportunities. And if you're the coach of Bainbridge right now, what are you telling your players?
We just need to calm down. You know, we've been here before. You know, Bainbridge is tested. They were in the a lot of these players were in the championship game just 2 years ago. Just quit swinging your sticks, take care of the ball, win a face-off.
And this is a much easier game to play when you're at even numbers, right?
It's much easier.
Ball is loose, and we immediately get a whistle.
Yeah, but this one's going to go against Eastlake for a loose ball push.
Loose ball push on the Wolves. Ball goes over to Bainbridge Island.
So again, 6:24 to go here in the second quarter. Bainbridge with the ball, and they trail 3-2 as they look to even this one up here. No need to rush as Bainbridge looking to set up something here that can get them back into a tie ball game. Shot on goal, and it's in. Number 17 for Bainbridge, Greg Shea with his second goal of the game. Boy, he just threw that one just to the right of the goalkeeper. I couldn't tell if he scored it first from up here.
Yeah, and I can't figure out if Escarda's having trouble, if the aluminum bleachers here are causing a background, but that's a second goal that's almost been the identical place, about hip-high, stick side, and he's moving his stick out of the way. So I don't know if there's a vision problem looking that way or what's causing that, but really 2 shots that I wouldn't say were great shots, but they've gone in.
Yeah, very similar indeed, and again, once one team scores, the other one seems to answer. We've got a 3-3 game. Have yet to see one team with more than a 1-goal lead. You can't ask for much more. Shot on goal and score. Wow, just like that, Bainbridge not wasting any time, winning the faceoff and taking the 4-3 lead. Adam Gargas with his first goal of the night, his second goal of the season.
And it's not unusual to see a player face off with a long pole. So Gargas is in the long stick midfield position right there, but he's taking face-offs. You remember a couple years ago, Duke has a national championship with a long pole facing off in overtime. And a goaltender, it's so hard to make a save on a long pole. The ball's coming from such an unusual angle, too high up, real difficult for a goaltender to make a save on a good bounce shot from a long stick. Great play by him.
And Gargis will not win this one as
Bainbridge, Eastlake ball.
draws the whistle there, and Danny Kehoe for Eastlake taking possession as the Wolves now look to try to tie this game back up. Kehoe just getting drilled in the face there by a couple different players. And that's going to draw a whistle.
Yeah. So Adam Gargis gets the goal. Then he has the illegal procedure in the face-off, and then he was holding him up around the neck. He had his stick right underneath his chin, and you can't do that. So he's going to be down for 30.
So you're taking the good with the bad with Gargis. A minute ago, winning a face-off and immediately putting his team up in the lead. And then on the opposite end, draws the penalty and leaves his team a man down here for a few moments. Eastlake looking to tie this game back up. 5:17 to go here in the second quarter. Bainbridge in the blue, holding on to a 4-3 lead. Wow, nice play there by number 3 for Eastlake. That was Fonte. Had the ball pop out of his
lucky to have that ball. You never want to dodge into a zone defense that's man down. You want to pass the ball, not dodge the ball.
And again, another Eastlake player trying to dodge his way through, loses the ball, and this time Bainbridge coming up with it. That was number 13, Danny Kehoe, trying to make something happen for Eastlake. And Bainbridge now with a chance to possibly go up by 2. Shot on goal, wide left. That was Sean Mayer, the senior captain.
Sean Mayer, wide, Bainbridge.
Yeah, Eastlake is just doing way too much dodging. They need to move the ball. Ball moves so much faster than the players. Bainbridge, that defense is going to collapse on you every time and take it away from you.
Bainbridge once again driving. Bainbridge turns around, shot, and score. That was number 11, Keegan Ingrassi. Mentioned him a few times already. Finally gets on the board for the first time tonight. Gives his team a 3-5 lead with 4:01 to go in the half.
And you see Bainbridge just kind of switched their offense. They were really trying to push it midfield, and now you see they're taking the ball from behind. So obviously they must have seen a little problem with the Eastlake defense. Eastlake long pulls. Maybe they're catching the fact that they're quicker than them. They can beat them on the dodge.
So Eastlake, or Bainbridge rather, with 3 consecutive goals. Now holding on to the biggest lead of the night, 5-3, as we are now under 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
You're going to have a push on Bainbridge there. The ball was loose, so we'll be even up.
We talked about it earlier, how we were surprised at the lack of scoring in the first quarter. Bainbridge now holding a 4-2 advantage here in the second, and we still have almost 4 minutes to play.
Still thought the score would have been a bit higher by now, but
finally get a whistle there, as that was number 20, Chase Barlow with the ball.
Yeah, we're going to get an Eastlake timeout, and that's a good timeout. Coach is going to say, move the ball, move the ball.
And yeah, just what Eastlake needs right now is, again, they've seen 3 goals in a row scored by Bainbridge. Really cannot afford to give up another one here. As again, this is a tight game as it is, and you do not want to fall down by too much more than you already are at this stage in the ball game, especially against a team of Bainbridge's caliber.
Yeah, well, Coach Doherty right over there, he's just telling the boys, move the ball, pass it around. Bainbridge plays aggressive. They spread out. The slides are going to be long. Just keep the ball moving. Cut behind your guy. When he turns his head, you turn the opposite way. Let's get something. Let's get an assisted goal here and get us right back in this game.
I'd like to take this opportunity one more time to thank Muscle Milk for coming on board with us. I got to tell you, I'm got one of these protein nutrition shakes in my hand right now, and I actually kind of want to drink this, but I think I'm going to hold off until later. But I appreciate them for providing us with some product and for coming on board and supporting lacrosse in general. But for tonight, we really want to thank them for supporting this broadcast and joining us here on the Lacrosse Network for the Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week.
Well, it's a wonderful service to our lacrosse community, both locally and across the nation. We've got coaches and parents and have friends and family on the East Coast, and they're staying up late tonight, but they're able to watch this game or get up in the morning and watch the rebroadcast of it, at their convenience. It's great. Great to show off our game. We play good lacrosse out here. The rest of the nation needs to see that.
And we've had a number of folks tell us that, too, that, again, as you mentioned, it is right now almost midnight back on the East Coast, and that's where some of the fan base is for these games. And we've certainly had people tell us that they've watched these games the next day or even the day after, and certainly appreciate everybody watching from afar, and if you're local as well, and continue to support this great sport, and we'll continue to grow it and bring you these fine games, and we've got another good one tonight. Eastlake, you mentioned it a minute ago, Tony, they need to pass the ball more, and immediately they come out and throw the ball around a little bit. As we approach the 3-minute mark to go in the second quarter, Eastlake trailing 5-3, looking to cut that lead in half. Shot on goal, missed, and finally the rebound, shot in and scored. Davis Caldwell with a nice putback there. Ball bounced off of Yarborough. Caldwell, Johnny on the spot, picks it up and fires it into the back of the net. And just like that, Eastlake cuts the Bainbridge lead down to 1.
Yeah, unfortunate rebound for Yarborough. He was looking to go chase the ball to the end line, and it pops right out. And Davis Caldwell with this a nice. I always call them garbage goals. I had no problem with garbage goals. If you're Johnny on the spot, you're right down there in the crease, and you can outfight everybody else for it and get the easy goal. More power to you. They all count as one. So that's good play by him.
You have to put yourself in that position to get the so-called garbage goal, right? And he did that.
Hey, a garbage goal is a compliment in my book.
There you go. And Eastlake coming up with the ball here again with a chance to potentially tie it up here with 2:40 to go in the half. And that possession was short-lived. Bainbridge able to take it right back. That was Jake Nostman coming up with the ball. Bainbridge driving once again. Shot on goal, score. Greg Shea with the hat trick. Third goal of the half. Gives his team a 6-4 lead with 2:29 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that was just a nice ride by Bainbridge, and really it started out with Adam Gargitz. Adam Gargitz is the roller coaster today. He's either in the doghouse or he's in the penthouse. There, he just made a really nice check, got the ball up the field. And anytime you get the ball in Ingrassi's hand, something's good's going to happen, and you saw that right there. He made the nice assist on that goal.
Grassi coming into the game with 15 assists, and he's certainly showing that he is a very big part of the Bainbridge offense, as he's done a number of things here, both as a shooter and as a distributor. Flags all over the field once again here. 2:22 to go in the second quarter of this 6-4 ball game.
Looks like Chris Wright's going to get a hold call there, 30-second penalty. Called that he fence posted him. He got his stick over the shoulder, stuck into the ground, and was holding the offensive player on that face-off, just like a fence post.
Always fun to hear some of the interesting terminology here that we use in lacrosse. And Bainbridge with the ball once again. Looking to build on this 6-4 lead as we come upon the 2-minute mark here to go in the first half. Nice save there by Escarda.
Shot by Jack Fickleton, saved by Ava Scott.
That was Fickleton on the shot. Nosman puts the ball back up on top. Shea looking for his 4th goal. Doesn't get it this time.
Good shot by Greg Shea, just wide. Bainbridge got it.
Just a little bit wide. Nosman backing it up. And he will take possession here with 1:45 to go in the half. Nosman taking a shot. Doesn't get it to fall. His teammate does, though. Number 35, Eric Nim, with his first goal of the night. Throws that one into the back of the net. Bainbridge up 7-4.
Yeah, Nim was Johnny on the spot right there. Just the defender wasn't able to hang on to the ball, and you don't want to drop the ball right in front of your goal, and that's what happened. Good job by Nim picking that up and putting it home. I noticed that Bainbridge is really shooting stick side low on Escarda, which is usually not the place you shoot on a goaltender on his stick side. You usually want to go on the other side of his body, but they seem to be pretty successful there. They seem to have found a weakness in Escarda's game.
Yeah, putting up 6 goals here alone in the second quarter. Nice distribution by Bainbridge as well. 5 different players on the board so far for the Spartans tonight. Might they get another? They've got the ball again. And we are going to get a timeout here with 1:30 to go in the second quarter. Bainbridge with the ball, holding on to a 7-4 lead. So Tony, I'm told we have an interesting halftime coming up here as well, so we'll tease that a little bit. We'll have everybody stick around and check that out. Don't always get halftime entertainment at these games, but we might have a little something happening on the field tonight. Stay tuned and find out. I'm
impressed. I mean, somebody comes out of the stand to sing the Star Spangled Banner, halftime show. I like it.
Yeah, you got to put on a nice act for everybody, right? It's fun to watch. Oh, and here we go. I've actually got a read now. So Hannah Haynes, she is a 7th grader at Inglewood Junior High, and she is a twirling champion. She won her age group at the Washington State Twirling Championship this last weekend over in Shelton. Her brother, Mason Haynes, is a sophomore swing attackman at Eastlake, and Hannah's going to put on a show for us at halftime, so that should be fun.
Well, I'm sure. Usually my wife's in bed by right around now, but I think she might have to stay up because at one time she was a baton twirler. There's still one in our basement.
Oh, wow.
My kids grab it all the time, put things in the wall. And
well, perhaps if she watches Hannah and she gets a little bit gets the all the old memories coming back to her, she might just pull that thing out and head out into the backyard and twirl the baton for a little bit.
Apparently baton twirling was big in Helena, Montana.
Apparently it's big in Shelton, too, as that's where the championship is. Can't wait to see what Hannah's got. Anytime you've got somebody with a skill like that, somebody who's a champion, it's always fun to watch. So we're looking forward to seeing Hannah perform at halftime.
No, I agree with you. Anybody that does anything at the top of his or her game, I'd like to watch.
Probably much more enjoyable for the fans watching than putting a camera on you and I at halftime and having to look at our faces.
Yeah, here.
Tim Exton shaking his head over here.
A lot of nods in the booth on that one. Yeah, face for radio.
And me twirling my pin isn't worth watching, so we'll watch Hannah. 1 minute to go here in the second quarter. Bainbridge looking to potentially build that lead up to 4 as they continue to throw the ball around. And that's going to be I believe Blake Randall, the junior, number 22 for Eastlake, is going to get called on that one.
Yeah, either going to get a cross check or a slash. He was really high up on his head.
Crucial
cross check to the head.
Crucial defensive play here for Eastlake as they do not want to go down by 4 goals into the half.
Yeah, now you got 54 seconds left. You're going to run your regular man up here. You're going to run it all the way through. It's a non-releasable penalty, so if you can score early, that would be great. Anytime you get a blow to the head, they're calling those unreleasable.
And this would be quite the deflation for Eastlake if Bainbridge can score here. Eastlake had a lead, I believe, with about 7 minutes to go in the half, and if they were to go down by 4 before the end of this quarter, that would be something. Shot on goal by Nim, stopped by Escarda. And Carter Heck coming away with it, clears it out. Here comes Eastlake with only 22 seconds to go in the half. Let's see if they've got time for anything here. Shot on goal by number 19, Chris Wright. Can't get it to go. Backed up by his teammate. I believe that is number 23 down there. Maxton McLaughlin, the freshman. And Eastlake now with 10 seconds to go, trying to get something going on. McLaughlin, only a freshman. He's got 2 goals on the year. And we're down to 1 second. It's not going to happen. And there is your, I guess we can call that a siren. That signifies the end of the first half of play. We've come to halftime with your score, Bainbridge 7, Eastlake 4.
I'm not sure if we're going to have a face-off or not. I couldn't tell if he... Yeah, no face. I think they're going to call he had possession when the horn sounded.
So taking a quick look here at our scoring totals, Bainbridge with 7 goals, Greg Shea with 3, and then 1 goal each from the following 4 players: Jake Nostman, Keegan Escarze, Incrossi, Adam Gargas, and Eric Nim. And Eastlake with 4 goals, 2 from Davis Caldwell, 1 from Austin Caldwell, and Josiah Fonte rounding up the scoring. And we're going to turn this over now as we watch Hannah Haynes do her thing, the champion twirler.
And it just so happens that Hannah Haynes here won 2 firsts and a Washington State Championship trophy. So without further ado, Hannah Haynes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
A quick ball. Does anybody have a ball? We need someone to throw us a ball. There's a ball way down there. Okay, what we're going to be doing is this is speed lacrosse. We're going to see how fast they can throw a lacrosse ball. But first, we need a stick. We need a stick. Oh, race over there and grab a stick. And get a ball, too. If we're going to play this game, we've got to have equipment. Okay, well, they're getting, oh, here we go. Okay, come over here real quick.
I'm Kyle Harrison. You're watching Free Stuff Friday.
That was phenomenal.
Greg from East Coast Eyes.
Greg? What's up, guys? This is Paul Rabel, and you're watching Free Stuff Friday.
Doesn't feel like I'm running on the field, like I gotta get away.
Let's go, Don.
Yeah.
Okay, matter of fact, there's another ball right behind it. Go grab it.
And we are back on the Lacrosse Network, where tonight your halftime score, Bainbridge 7, Eastlake 4. This young lady here, we're going to let her catch her breath for a quick moment, as you might have just witnessed a great performance out there on the field. Hannah Haynes, 7th grade, and you are quite the twirler, young lady.
Thank
and
you.
By the way, you're a champion, is that what I hear?
Yeah, I compete at competitions, and I had one this Saturday.
And tell us a little bit about that. You were in Shelton, and how did you do?
I did pretty good. I mean, kind of awkward to answer, but I won first in a few categories.
First place is pretty good. So talk about, you mentioned in a few categories, what events did you compete in?
Well, I competed in something called presentation, where that's only about 30 seconds, and that's more of like dancing and kind of, it's not as much baton. And then I do something called solo, which is 1 minute and 30 seconds. And it's kind of just what I did out there, but it's way shorter than that. And that's just kind of where you show off like your best tricks, basically. But it's in the form of a routine.
And I'm going to pick this baton up because I've never really held one of these. This is quite the tool here. And now talk to us a little bit about, and maybe hard to show on camera, but what are your best tricks? Can you kind of explain them to us?
Well, probably my weakness is rolls, where it's kind of like you roll it on your arm. But I'd say I'm best at like throwing it. Like I learned a trick called a 2-turn, where I did a 1-turn in there, but a 2-turn is basically the same thing. You throw it up and spin twice and catch it.
Okay.
And that's probably one of the hardest tricks I can do. And then there are also some rolls that are hard, like what I did was a fishtail, where you roll it on your hand and then you move it like that and you keep it on your hand.
Not easy to do, right?
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Here's a tough question now. Your brother Mason, he plays lacrosse, right, for Eastlake?
Yeah.
Now, who's better? Are you better with the baton, or is your brother Mason better with the lacrosse stick? Who are we giving the advantage to there?
I don't know. We've both been doing this sport for the same amount of time, like 4-ish years.
So you're both pretty good, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, but we've never had Mason out there performing at halftime, so you're definitely doing something right. So, and I should also ask you now, you're in 7th grade, so you got a lot of time left on this one, but is twirling something that they give scholarships for in college?
Yeah, some colleges, it used to be a pretty popular thing, but a lot of colleges just stopped having twirlers at football because they weren't getting a lot of people, like, auditioning, I guess, to be twirlers.
Sure.
So it's kind of hard to find a college that uses scholarship for a twirler.
Now, I go to a lot of University of Washington football games, and I know for a fact they still use twirlers, right?
Yeah, I actually know her. She's come to a few of my practices. She's really fun to be around.
So is that your, do you aspire to possibly, I mean, is there a chance maybe say in, I don't know, 2018, 2019, we're at a football game at Husky Stadium and we see you out there twirling? Is that a possibility?
Maybe.
Okay, well, that'd be a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah, well, I plan on also, when I get to Eastlake, trying to be a twirler there, because I know they also have twirlers at their football games.
Okay, and again, this is not easy. I'm just trying to play with this with my hand right now, and Hannah, I don't know how you do this, but you do it very well, and again, congratulations to you. Thank you for providing us with a great halftime show, and congratulations on winning the championship in Shelton last week, and
Thank you.
Hopefully you win a few more, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hannah Haynes, Inglewood Junior High.
Junior high, yeah.
And soon to be coming to Eastlake High School here in a couple years, and then maybe the University of Washington or some other football program. Stay tuned. So, again, thanks, Hannah, and we look forward to watching you for many more years to come with this stick right here.
Hi guys, I'm Brody Merrill, and welcome to Free Contest Friday.
That's perfect.
And we are back again on the Lacrosse Network as we are about ready for the second half of action at the Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week between the Bainbridge Spartans and the Eastlake Wolves. Bainbridge holding on to a 7-4 lead here at halftime, and Tony Olney had a lot of fun doing the broadcast thing and broadcasted a lot of sports this year. It's the first baton twirler I've had a chance to interview.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a pretty select sorority of baton twirlers, but like I said, if you can get a scholarship to the University of Washington or Washington State, more power to her. I think that's great. Anything to keep kids participating in something healthy. I think that's wonderful.
And a scholarship, mom and dad like that as well usually too. So again, Hannah, great job. That was a lot of fun to watch at halftime, and a very poised and mature young lady, and we had a lot of fun with it at halftime.
Eastlake ball to start the second half.
So, Tony, for some of our newer viewers, explain why we're not doing a face-off here to start the second half of play.
Right. Anytime a team has a penalty, they're either man up or man down, whoever has possession of the ball, it carries on through the quarter. So you saw right there that Eastlake had about 6 seconds to burn in this penalty, or it looks like they're going to actually, it might have been a 2-minute penalty on there because it was a hit to the head. So they're going to have to burn off another full minute. And you can see Bainbridge, very aggressive defense. They're going to double all the time.
And you mentioned burning off. Speaking of which, Josiah Fonte, I think he just burned off a few hundred calories there as he's just doing circles out here right now. He finally spins and shoots.
Yeah, and he just drew 2 penalties right there. Again, that's impatience on Bainbridge's part. They need to control their checks.
Fonte looking to create something on his own there, and what he got was a couple penalties off of Bainbridge. Nicely done by him, and potentially putting his team in position to get another goal, which they so desperately need as they trail by 3.
I'm just kind of shocked by what's going on right here. You have an opportunity to double the ball, to get the ball back, be man up, and now you get 2 guys in the penalty box. So, Eastlake is still burning off their 2-minute penalty, but you're going to be man up. It's going to be 4 versus 5. What a change of events here to start the second half. Not the way Bainbridge wanted to start.
Again, 11:27 to go here in the third quarter. Plenty of time left. Eastlake trailing after giving up 6 goals to Bainbridge in that second quarter. Offense definitely needs to get something going, and this is a prime opportunity for them right now.
Yeah, and there's a problem right now. Eastlake has too many men on the field. They still have a man in the penalty box, and they've got 6 attacking players. They need to straighten this out. I think the officials have missed that. They should not have 6 on the field.
So we'll see if the officials catch this momentarily. So far they have not, as Eastlake passing the ball around looking for a shot, and
yep, they just figured it out.
Finally figured it out with 11:15.
Yeah, they just figured it out that Eastlake had one too many guys out there. Oh, fellas, you're killing me. We got to get the sideline straightened out on both teams.
Now, do you think the referee figured that out, or I noticed Jack Visco was leaning in there a little bit, yelling something. Do you think he was helping the officials out a little bit and acting as a third set of eyes?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's ever appropriate to yell at the officials, but, one of the responsibilities of the officials is before every whistle is to count the house. I'll take blue, you take white, and we just look at each other and make sure we count the house. That's part of what their mechanics is before each time to count the house, and that didn't happen. So I don't blame the coaches for getting on the officials for that one.
Sure, and we do get a quick timeout here with 11:15 to go in the third quarter. The Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week is pleased to introduce you to our presenting sponsor, Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk Ready to Drink is a delicious protein-enhanced beverage that helps promote workout recovery, lean muscle growth, and sustained energy. From the first face-off to the final whistle, every fast break, ground ball, and set play is a battle. Protein helps you win it. Find Muscle Milk at your local convenience or grocery retailer or at the gym. Muscle Milk, workout recovery fuel, give me strength. I'd like to mention again that Wrecking Ball Demolition is a proud sponsor of the Lacrosse Network Washington High School Game of the Week. Wrecking Ball Demolition offers full building demolitions, neater, cleaner, faster. Wrecking Ball Demolition, demolition with a difference. To learn more, visit wreckingballDemo.com or call 425-339-3111. Tony, I'm noticing out of the corner of my eye, you were doing a little head count there on these players. Are we? What are we noticing right now?
So we're all good to go, and Bainbridge is now, they're down 1 guy. So they're going to try to do the same thing that Eastlake was doing and try to kill off their penalty. And that's a big takeaway. Getting the ball out of Knotsman's hands is hard.
Just what Eastlake needed right now. Looked like they might have a little bit of a drive going. Unfortunately, the pass goes a little awry. Back to Bainbridge. Knotsman gets clunked in the head. Throws a pass over to his teammate number 13. LaRoche takes a shot, misses. However, we've got a whistle.
Yeah, Alex Prather will go off for a minute. Boy, they're just swinging their sticks wildly in this game. I'm actually kind of surprised by the number of penalties on both teams. You know, again, this late in the season, and you can certainly say, hey, the referees are calling this game too tight, but you know, you have to adjust to the way the officials are calling it. You know, the number one priority of the officials is to maintain the safety of the game, and they're going to do that. Oh, odd situations now. So we're gonna have 5-on-4.
You certainly cannot accuse this ball game of being boring, right? There's a little bit of everything going on.
We've had 6-on-3, 5-on-4, 6-on-4,
and we're barely into the second half.
Yeah, crazy. So now actually Bainbridge is man up now.
Man up and looking for a good shot right now as they swing the ball around.
Yeah, Eastlake did a nice job of adjusting and getting into their man-down defense.
As we've mentioned before, Bainbridge, second place in the Metro Division, trailing Eastside Catholic. Eastlake looking to wrap up their division with a win as they lead Issaquah and Skyline by only one game each. Shot on goal by number 3. That's Nostman. Just over the upper right-hand corner of the goal. Sails out. It was backed up by one of his teammates. That was Eric Nim. And Bainbridge will keep possession here with 9:37 to go in the third quarter.
And we're finally back to 10-on-10 lacrosse.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
Nim with the ball, being guarded very closely by Chris Wright. Drake Shea, who already has 3 goals tonight now with the ball. Shea coming down the right alley, shoots just a little bit wide left.
Shot by Greg Shea, just right, Bainbridge ball.
Bainbridge keeping possession of the ball there. I heard a few of the fans down below us not agreeing with that call. They thought it went
hard to tell from this
side.
angle, but I think actually the Eastlake defender might have been closest to that ball where it went out. It's not closest to the line; it's closest to the ball where it goes out.
When it goes out, you're right.
You know, I think there's a general lack of hustle on both sides there. I think they both assumed either one of them was closer to the ball.
The Eastlake once again with possession. Looking to get something going here as they continue to trail 7-4 onto their home field. That was quite the hit there by Bainbridge. That was number 14, Ben LaRoche on the play, knocking Chris Wright to the ground and drawing the whistle.
You know, it's just like it was predetermined. We haven't gone long enough without a penalty. and you know, I saw LaRoche, he just put his head down. He pushed him and he knew right away. It's an obvious call right in front of our camera. You can't push a guy in the back.
And as you mentioned, we've got 2 teams that are fairly experienced, 2 programs that certainly have a nice tradition and have the records to show for it again this year. Not the sloppy play you're expecting to see out of these 2 teams this late in the season.
Well, you know, there's a reason they invented, Pepto-Bismol and Tums for coaches. You know, they're high school kids. You know, they're great, they're wonderful, but from day to day, you just never know who they are.
And that's probably part of the reason why you're up in the booth with me and you're no longer down there, right?
A lot of gray hair.
O'Doherty and Visco, I'm sure, feeling it tonight as the 2 coaches doing battle here. Late in the season, as we've mentioned earlier, only 1 regular season game left for each of these 2 teams, and then it's on to the playoffs. Shot on goal, missed. That was number 11 for Eastlake, Austin Caldwell. Senior with 1 goal already tonight, looking for number 2. Doesn't get it that time, and Bainbridge now with the ball.
Yeah, big mistake by Eastlake not backing up that shot. You know, you're man up. You got to back up those shots.
Bainbridge getting the ball up the field very quickly. Nice intention there by LaRoche, trying to get it to Nostman, who was cutting through the middle. Both teams exchanging short possessions here. Is finally Eric Nim coming up with it for Bainbridge, number 35.
It's a very crafty little lift check by Knotzman there to get the ball back. He's his high lacrosse IQ kid. High in the classroom too. I understand he almost has a 4.0. Going to do great things.
And again, Nostman with 50 goals coming into tonight. Only one so far. Are you a little bit surprised at that?
Well, Eastlake was going to say that he's a scorer. We'll let him get the goals and stop everybody else, but they haven't had to do that. I think Prather's done a real nice job on him. I think Caldwell or Chris Wright's done a nice job on him too.
And Eastlake coming up with the ball one more time. 7:18 to go in the third quarter. We have yet to see a goal from either team in this half. Eastlake looking to perhaps change that right now. We will soon find out. Fonte once again showing like he's the Energizer Bunny. Shoots it on goal. Yarbrough with a save. And back down to the other end. Here comes Bainbridge once again.
I will say, as sloppy as this game is played, both teams are playing very hard. They're running hard, good athletes out here. So, the desire's there on both teams to get this victory. They know how big a deal it is.
Nostman with a nice pass on a cutting number 17. That was Greg Shea looking for his 4th goal of the night. Doesn't get it, however, Nostman right there to back it up before it goes out of bounds. Gets it back over to Shea one more time. Shea getting another shot on goal. This one sailing just a little bit high and wide left. Grassi once again backing that one up. Bainbridge continuing to take shots and continuing to hold on to the possession.
Yeah, I like what Bainbridge is doing here. They're spreading the field out. This is Bainbridge lacrosse here. Dodge from the top, dodge from behind, and if you're going to get doubled, you dump the pass off.
Of course, Bainbridge, no need to rush. They hold the 3-goal lead right now. Greg Shea cutting back into the middle. Shoots again, this time wide right. Shea with his 3rd shot on this trip down the field alone. It's been wide left, wide right. I think he shot one over the top. The next one might be going right in the middle.
Yeah, and those are okay shots. It's okay to miss the goal because you got it backed up and you get the ball back. It's okay to aim for those pipes.
Yeah, 3 misses, and he's been backed up on all 3 of them.
Yeah, you just don't want to play catch with the goalie. That's the one thing as a shooter and as an offense you can't do. You can't throw it in the goaltender's stick. Make the goalie work for it. If he makes a great save, good for him. And if you miss, we get it back.
Bainbridge continuing to work this ball around. We now are looking at a 5:21 mark on the clock. Bainbridge with a 7-4 lead. Nostman looking to make it 8-4. Just missed that one. Scarda might have caught part of that ball. And Bainbridge once again maintaining possession.
Dane Wiesner right there showed just great hustle, great field awareness to cut off that Eastlake defender and get that ball back for Bainbridge. I tell you, Knotzman's shot, that was on the inside of the pipe and came out at a really odd angle. I mean,
I thought it hit from here. I couldn't quite tell, but it was very close.
Yeah, no, I don't think it went in, but it literally a millimeter away from clanking into the goal instead of clanking out of it.
Yeah, almost caught net on that play. Just missed his 2nd goal of the game and what would have been his 52nd goal of the year. Nostman certainly knows how to put the ball into the net. We now are under the 5-minute mark here in the third quarter. A quarter that is yet to see a goal as we are 7 minutes in. Very reminiscent of the first quarter of play in which both teams only scored 1 goal.
Come on, Chris Wright. Get it back.
Shea and Nostman playing a little catch right now. Nostman with the ball. And with plenty of time to go in this game, neither team feeling rushed. Certainly Eastlake not feeling rushed. They're down by 3, but they've got more than 1 1/4 quarters left to play here.
Yeah, Bainbridge is really grinding the clock down. They've actually been given a stall warning, so they have to keep it in the attacking goal area here. So they'll have to tighten up their offensive formation.
Yeah, I believe they've been down here now for roughly 2.5 minutes on this drive alone.
Yeah, that'll be a delay of game. If there should be a delay of game call right now. They're going to do a nice. That's a good play on by the referees. Good call.
Eastlake with a little bit of a breakaway here. 2-on-1 shot and score. Number 18, Davis Caldwell, putting up the hat trick, his 3rd goal of the game, and Eastlake now down 7-5 with 3:40 to go in the 3rd quarter.
You know, we might have been getting on the referees a little bit in this game, but that was quality work right there. In lacrosse, you have a play on very similar to soccer, and if you see an advantage happening, you're going to hold your whistle. As soon as Bainbridge threw it out of the box, the referees could have blown the whistle immediately and given it to Eastlake, but they let the play continue, and that really was beneficial for Eastlake in getting that transition goal. Nice work by the guys in stripes.
And nice work by Eastlake, being very patient on the defensive side of things. Once they got that ball, they threw it down the field very quickly, went on the attack, and got a fast break goal. Bainbridge once again with the ball on their side of the field. Nossman being double teamed there, finally kicks it back to Shea, and we get another whistle. Slash on number 19 for Eastlake. It's Chris Wright, a 1-minute call.
You know, the crowd's getting a little bit on the official on that one, and you know, hard to say. He was taking some pretty big whacks there. And if you're going to take some big whacks, you better be in the glove, you better be on the stick, and if you're missing high on the arm, that's a slash. You know, if you're going to take a whack like that, it's got to be the hand on the stick or the stick itself.
And Wright does get the call. Hey, the Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week is presented by Muscle Milk. From the first face-off to the final whistle, every fast break, ground ball, and set play is a battle. Protein helps you win it all. Muscle Milk, workout recovery fuel. Give me strength. Nossman with the ball once again. We are now down under 3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Bainbridge holding on to a 7-5 lead. They're also holding on to the ball here. They are still looking to get on the board here in the second half of play. Bounce shot by Nim over the goal. Once again, he is backed up, though, by Nostman, and Bainbridge will maintain possession. Nostman looking for a cutting Escarzi there on that play. Nostman once again looking at Ingrassi as he's in the middle. Pops back out. Ingrassi's going to take a shot off of the defender and finally covered up by Escarda, the goalkeeper.
So they're going to get Carter Heck. Came in a little bit late on the follow-through on the shot, but they're going to call that he got to the head. So that's going to be a 1-minute unreleasable. Boy, we've seen a lot of those calls today.
So Heck coming out. Again, giving Bainbridge a man up here with just a little over 2 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter of play. Fans letting the referee know about it. I've never been to a high school sporting event of any kind in which the high school fans have actually agreed with the referee when they've called it on them. Funny how that works, right? Shea thought about taking a shot, finally kicks it back over. Nossman with a nice pass across the lane there. Shot on goal by number 22, Jack Frickleton, the freshman with his 2nd goal of the year, and Bainbridge now back up by 3 once again, 8-5 with 2:04 to go in the 3rd quarter.
You know, that's the first time we've seen Bainbridge do that particular man up where they're going to skip the pass across the goalie's face. Before, they've just been doing step-down shots from the wings. It's a difficult pass to pull off, but Notzman, he's a veteran enough guy that he's going to influence the goalie. The goalie's going to pay a lot of attention to the shot, and he's able to slip that pass across the face of the crease. So, and you know, we haven't called Frickleton's name much today. He must be a man-up specialist, but he put it away nicely.
And he's only a freshman, so nice job by Frickleton to get on the board there. And he becomes the 6th Bainbridge player tonight to score a goal. 6 different players scoring in an 8-goal game. Not a bad way to share the goals, so to speak, for the Spartans.
You know, the difficulty with that penalty being a hit to the head, it's non-releasable. So Bainbridge continues with their man up.
Man up, and they have the ball once again. We're now down to 1:38 to go in the third quarter. Nossman again looking at Frickleton, gets it over to him for another shot. Does not score this time. Eastlake coming up with the ball. Nossman on the ride right now for number 24. That's Nick Peterson, the junior for Eastlake.
No, the coach is yelling, are they off? It's Eastlake that's offsides. That or they called a timeout, but the Eastlake was offsides.
And with 1:18 to go in the third quarter, we're going to take a quick break with our score. Bainbridge 8, Eastlake 5. Hey, from Spokane to Seattle and Linden to Camas, high school lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in Washington State. Now in its fourth decade of play, 4,000 student athletes attending 200 schools in Washington State will play high school lacrosse this season. To learn more about high school lacrosse in Washington State, visit WashingtonHSLAX.com. That's WashingtonHSLAX.com. So again, that's Washington High School Lacrosse is what that HSLAX stands for. Certainly invite you to take a look at the website. Plenty of great stories, features, press releases. Anything you need to know about the sport of lacrosse in the state of Washington, that is your go-to spot. And again, doing wonders and helping this sport grow throughout the region as more and more schools are picking it up all the time, and it just continues to grow. And hopefully that 4,000 number will be up even higher next year. We are back to action here at Eastlake High School. The Eastlake Wolves trailing Bainbridge by 3. However, they do have the ball, looking to cut that lead down, or that deficit down rather, just a bit before the end of the third quarter, as we are now under a minute to go here in the third. Number 17 for Bainbridge all over that play. That is Greg Shea. Shea, who's had a huge night offensively with a hat trick already, showing that he can get it done on defense as well. And there it is, Jake Nostman, the leading goal scorer in the league, scoring his 52nd goal of the year, giving Bainbridge a 9-5 lead with 41 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, nice. That's a bread and butter play by Knotsman right there in transition. Great field sense, great eyes, gets the ball to the open guy. But what you saw there, you were looking right in front of us, Greg Shea. The referees are going to let you lay a hard check on the bottom hand. You stay off the head in this game, you can lay some hard checks. The crowd's getting on them, but no, you can lay those hard checks as long as you're staying away from the head.
And Shea checking that one to perfection, setting up that goal. Again, he's already scored 3 goals. He really did his part to set that one up for Nostman. He's given his team now a 4-goal lead as we are about to come into the end of the third quarter with 30 seconds to go.
So we did a procedure call on Bainbridge there.
We need you more than ever. Come on.
And Eastlake looking to potentially get something going here before the end of the third quarter. And they better do it quickly. There's the clock apparently is now being kept on the field. It's not running here. Number 21 for Eastlake with a shot. That's Alex Prather. Prather immediately grabbing up around his mask there as he might have gotten hit in the head by one of the Bainbridge players.
I think they got Bainbridge for being an offsides there, so it'll be a 30-second penalty. So we got plenty enough time to run that here before the end of the third quarter.
The clock showing 28.9. That was I'm not sure if the
clock
just failed to start or if maybe the referees were keeping it there.
Yeah.
It was at 30.2 when the play started, and
yeah.
so we'll see how much time is left here.
Yeah, usually the last minute's kept on the field.
However, they did run off a second a minute ago, which was kind of puzzling to me, but it's actually running again now, so we'll see if Eastlake can take advantage of that. If they are to do so, they're going to have to do it quickly as they're down to 20 seconds now. Nice bounce shot there, however, Yarborough there to pick it up. That was Davis Caldwell, who's looking for his 4th goal of the night. Doesn't get that one to go, and Yarborough is going to clear this one out here as the clock continues to tick down. Ball is loose, and there is the siren ending the 3rd quarter of play with our score, Bainbridge 5, Eastlake, or Bainbridge 9, Eastlake 5. So, Tony, if you are Eastlake, you've only scored 5 goals over the first 3 quarters of play. Are you hitting the panic button yet? What do you need to do here in the 4th quarter to get back in this game?
Well, I don't think you're hitting the panic button, but you got to realize, and I think the players do, how important this game is. You got to figure going into Friday, it's going to be very difficult to beat Mercer Island. You want to be the #1 seed in your division, and losing these 2 games here, that's probably not going to happen. So, as a coach, I'm telling you kids, we got to get things going. We're going to do it a couple different ways. One is we're going to pass the ball. We're going to spread that Bainbridge defense out again because Bainbridge is going to continue to play aggressively. 2, we're going to stay out of the penalty box. Okay, if we go clean this 4th quarter, I'm certain we're going to have a couple man-ups. That's what I'm telling my kids. Just the way this game's gone. So if we can do those 2 things, again, lacrosse, you can get it within 3, get it within 2, you start getting a little momentum, you can get back in this game. By no reason is Eastlake out of this game, but they just got to clean up. They got to clean things up.
Yeah, and their penalty box has been a busy place tonight so far. We'll see if they can actually clean that up and keep some of their players on the field a little bit more and a little less time in that box.
Well, you always have a good parent volunteer being the penalty keeper, and they usually can talk them into doing it because there's not too much work, but not tonight. Whoever's down there might not volunteer for Friday's game.
And again, that Friday game is a big one for them. That's Mercer Island at 8 o'clock. Boy, Bainbridge and Mercer Island in the same week. That's a tough way to end your season out, isn't it?
It's a very tough way to end your season. Happy to be at home, but those are 2 tough opponents.
And again, that is an 8 o'clock game on Friday night. If you're around the area, you can come on out and check that game out. Or if you'd like, you can stay at home and watch the Lacrosse Network and watch the state championship girls game that we will be broadcasting once again between Lake Sammamish and Lakeside. That game will be played at Mercer Island High School at 7:30, and we will have it right here on the Lacrosse Network. Bainbridge already with a 4-goal lead, and they're going to start off the 4th quarter with the ball as well. Shea cutting into the middle. Nostman shoots and scores. Bainbridge 10, Eastlake 5. Jake Nostman with his 3rd goal of the game. And Bainbridge now with their largest lead of the night.
If you have not seen Nostman play, anybody who has 53 goals is obviously a very accurate shooter, and you really saw that there. He peppered that top corner right in the corner, off stick on a right-handed goalie. It's just a fabulous shot. You don't mistake your way into 50 goals. You're a talented young man to get that many goals, and really nice shot by him. And, you expect that out of a senior. Start putting the game away now.
And he's not exactly putting these shots in right in front of the crease either. He's been firing these from a ways out, and there's just not much that Escarda can do with those. Wow. Unbelievable shot there. Number 21, Adam Gargas with his 2nd goal of the game. Very similar to his last one in that took the face off and just immediately came down and drilled it. This time, doing it while falling forward from about 15 yards out. That was impressive.
Yeah, fabulous job. And he had a long pole right on his back. That young man is very strong. That takes a tremendous amount of hand and wrist strength right there to even get that shot off.
Bainbridge 11, Eastlake 5. We talked about hitting the panic button a few minutes ago. If it wasn't hit, it might be now as Eastlake trailing by 6 with 11:28 to go in the game. Gargas winning another one. Ball is loose. Let's see if Bainbridge can come up with it again. They cannot. Eastlake with the possession here, and they need to get something going quickly.
Coach O'Doherty's been talking about building the culture here at Eastlake, and the culture they came from Bellevue, and a culture of winning. And he said, at the beginning of the year at Eastlake, they had some trouble. They were in games, but they just were playing not to lose, even when they had the lead. And this is another good test for their young team and trying to build that culture of how do you finish a game, how do you stay in a game, how do you overcome some adversity.
Again, shooting themselves in the foot a few times tonight. A little bit sloppy there as that pass goes out of bounds, and Bainbridge once again taking over possession. And they have a 6-goal lead. Nice play by Shea there. Spins off of a couple of guys. Still going. Gets one of his defensive players turned around. Shoots on goal. Sails wide left. Nossman once again backing him up, and Bainbridge will hold on to the ball. Shea, who's having himself one heck of a night, heading to the bench. He's going to take a breather and be curious to see if we see him again if this game continues to go in the direction it is with a 6-goal lead. And we get another penalty called here against Eastlake.
Yeah, they're going to call a hold, and that was a good job by Ingrassi right there. He really, his quickness and his dodge there really caused the hold to happen.
Fans did not like the call, but Ingrassi definitely was taken down to the ground there, and Bainbridge again with another nice opportunity here to really put this game away, is starting to flex their muscle here and really take over with 10:20 to go. And again, they've scored 2 quick goals here early on in the fourth to increase their lead to 11-5. Looking for more right now. Ingrassi shoots. Just a bit wide, however, Nostman once again backing it up, and Bainbridge will continue to keep the ball on their side of the field. Ingrassi had it momentarily, however, the ball was stripped away. Shea with another shot, this time wide left, or wide right rather. Nostman once again backing it up.
Boy, I'm impressed with Shea's strength. He's a strong kid. He came out of that pile with 3 Eastlake players hanging on him.
And was still able to get off a pretty good shot. Strong shot at that. Nice defensive play there by number 19. That's Chris Wright, captain of this Eastlake squad. Eastlake still looking for their second goal of the half. Went into the half down 7-4. Scored fairly quickly coming into the second half and have been shut out ever since. Again, Eastlake trying to work that ball around. Pass gets away and starts rolling into the Bainbridge side of the field. Let's see who comes up with this. Danny Kehoe, a name we haven't called in a while after calling his name quite a bit in the first half with the ball. Kehoe diving into his own player there. That was Davis Caldwell, and I'm not sure if the two of them together didn't squander an opportunity for Eastlake to keep possession of that ball. .32 to go here in the game. Hey, the Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week is presented by Muscle Milk. From the first face-off to the final whistle, every fast break, ground ball, and set play is a battle. Protein helps you win it. Muscle Milk, workout recovery fuel. Give me strength. Strength is something that Bainbridge is certainly showing here in the second half. Dominating this game, controlling the tempo right now, and they hold an 11-5 lead with 8:11 to go.
Yeah, a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde half for Bainbridge. They started off kind of crazy and out of hand, but you can see they've really slowed this game down. They're playing conservative defense now, working the clock on offense, and you got a solid goaltender behind you. It's a formula for closing out a game like this.
And Bainbridge just very content right now, as well they should be, keeping this tempo down to a slow pace. We're now down below 8 minutes to go in the game. And Bainbridge looking to set up an offensive play here. Tony, I feel like every time you and I are broadcasting a game together, we get a lot of these fourth quarters, don't we? Thought maybe tonight we'd get a little closer battle, and you know what? It's not over yet, but Eastlake certainly needs to do something quickly if they're going to get back in this game. And just as I say that, there's a nice steal there by number 21, Alex Prather. Prather with a nice pass as he's fallen to the ground. Keeps the ball alive, and his hometown crowd here seems to appreciate his efforts as they give him a nice round of applause. Shot on goal by number 13, wide right. That was Danny Keogh.
Wow. Reynolds Yarborough is so quick. He's so quick out of that goal. And if you look at the way this Eastlake field is set up, the goal line, or the end line, is about 19, 18 yards behind the cage, which is usually supposed to be 15 yards behind the cage, just the way things are striped. And Yarborough's really taking advantage of that by charging hard to that end line.
I've got to tell you, Tony, I was impressed with that. I looked away as Kehoe hit the ground on that play. I just assumed that one of his own teammates was going to have the ball there, as he was going to be the one backing it up. And I turned to look to my left there, and sure enough, Yarborough was right along the back line there. I don't know how he did it, but as you mentioned, nice hustle on his part, and gets his team back into possession there. We're now looking at 6:08 to go on the clock. Bainbridge still holding on to an 11-5 lead. They are looking like they might want to expand that a bit. Number 1, Sean Mayer with the ball right now. Mayer throws a pass across the crease, gets it over to number 11. Ingrassi gets the ball over to number 17, Shea. Shea taking another shot on goal. Sails this one wide. However, his teammate there to back it up. That's Sean Mayer again. Mayer was looking for number 22, Frickleton, as he was cutting into the middle there. Couldn't quite make the pass. As a nice defensive play by Eastlake. We do get a whistle on the play. Yeah,
they're going to get an illegal body check on Chris Wright there. Tough to come back when you're man down. 5.5 minutes left. You'll see Bainbridge take this full minute. I'd be surprised if they don't shoot till maybe the last 10 seconds of that penalty.
So once again, another reminder, Friday night, a state championship matchup between Lake Sammamish and Lakeside. The game to be played at Mercer Island High School. Tony, any thoughts on that game?
Well, Lakeside, Coach Aska's been there for a very long time. She's been very successful. They obviously have the experience in that game. It'd be interesting. I just don't know much about Lake Sammamish.
And you mentioned you will be at that game on Friday night.
Yeah.
Should be a fun one. Shot on goal by Shea. Bounces back out towards the sideline there, and Mayer is able to pick it up and to keep possession for Bainbridge. As you mentioned a minute ago, they are very content just soaking up some time right now. It's the clock now under 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Eric Nim cutting across the middle there. Couldn't quite get possession of that pass. Ball is turned over in Eastlake now. In one of the rare moments here in the second half in which they actually have the ball. And I spoke too soon, as all of a sudden the ball is loose, and they do get it back again. Let's see if they can do something this time. Unfortunately, no. Number 11, Austin Caldwell with the pass. Goes a little bit wide of his intended target, Davis Caldwell.
Yes, it's a great observation. I mean, I just know from the crick in my neck, keep looking here to the right, that Bainbridge is really controlled, this fourth quarter. And finally Eastlake gets possession of the ball. They come down, and then they just do an ill-advised pass. You got to play a little bit of offense, let your defense rest. And, you're probably not going to win the game, but you should give your chance for your offense to play a little bit.
Yeah, it's quite the difference right now. When you watch Bainbridge, you just see them constantly passing the ball back and forth and getting everybody involved, and it just feels like whenever Eastlake has the ball, it's 2 passes and out, and you're not going to win too many ball games that way. Another flag hitting the ground, and now we're under 4 minutes to go in this game. And finally a whistle blowing to stop play. Hey, Wrecking Ball Demolition is a proud sponsor of the Lacrosse Network Washington High School Lacrosse Game of the Week. Wrecking Ball Demolition offers full building demolitions, neater, cleaner, faster. Wrecking Ball Demolition, demolition with a difference. To learn more, visit wreckingballDemo.com or call 425-339-3111.
Yeah, another 6-on-4 situation here with 2 penalties on Eastlake.
Not what you need when you're down by 6, right?
No.
Not sure what happened there for one of the few times this half. Bainbridge getting a little sloppy there. Nostman's pass to Ingrassi getting away from him and going out of bounds, and Eastlake will take possession one more time.
Yeah, that's one of those nitpicky things that a coach will do, but that's just a loss of concentration right there. And that's something in the film room that, as a coach, I'm going to go over that a few times, because even though the game's well in hand, you got to keep your concentration.
Yeah, you can do 100 things right and one thing wrong, and
but they're offsides.
Coaches always want to focus on the wrong, and rightfully so, as they want to make sure that it's something that doesn't happen in a crucial part of a game later on down the road, potentially in the playoffs for these guys.
Right, they missed that. Eastlake was way offsides.
And finally, Bainbridge coming up with it here. We're now looking at 3:15 to go on the clock. Mayer bringing it into the attack area. And once again, Frickleton taking the ball behind the goal, and Bainbridge slowing things down a bit as we are now down under 3 minutes to go here in the game. Mayer shooting on goal, and nice stop there by Escarda. The freshman coming up with one. And once again, Eastlake's possession short-lived. Bainbridge coming right back with the steal, and potentially another shot on goal here. Another save by Escarda, as we're now down to 2:29 to go in the game.
Yeah, nice series there by Escarda. Couple nice saves there.
It's about ready to compliment number 13 on his play there, as that was Danny Kehoe. Finally loses the ball, and you mentioned it before, maybe a few too many moves without passing it. However, his team does still hold on to the possession with 2:13 to go. Kehoe looking for Eastlake's second goal of the half. This one sails wide. However, it is backed up. Hey, from Spokane to Seattle and Linden to Camas, high school lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in Washington State. Now in its 4th decade of play, 4,000 student athletes attending 200 schools in Washington State will play high school lacrosse this season. To learn more about high school lacrosse in Washington State, visit WashingtonHSLAX.com. That's WashingtonHSLAX.com.
But really have to compliment the Bainbridge defense in this second half. Though it's been a little sloppy, a lot sloppy, Bainbridge defense has played very well. I think they're pitching a 1 goal in the second half is all they've given up.
Yeah, you take away that second quarter, and they've only given up 2 goals in the entire game. Yeah, playing strong defense and, again, a different tempo of offense as well. Only 5 goals in the entire half for both teams combined, which suits Bainbridge just fine, as they look like they're going to – not look like, they are going to come out of this game with a victory tonight, holding on to an 11-5 lead with 1:31 to go.
Yeah, this is a real grinder. This is one when you get on the bus with a lot of ice packs and just happy to walk out of here with a win and get home, try to get a little sleep before first period tomorrow morning. Sure, it starts at about 7 o'clock, and get ready for Friday.
Yeah, on a Tuesday night, too. That's kind of rough, huh? So middle of the week, and these players will be tired, but it's always a little bit easier when you win, right?
Yeah, it makes for a shorter bus ride, that's for sure.
A happier bus ride at that.
Yeah.
Yarborough coming up with a save, so we're down to 1:15 to go. And I'll tell you who else is happy about this game tonight, Issaquah and Skyline, as Eastlake coming back to the pack on that one. We get a timeout here with 1:07 to go in the game, and Bainbridge leading 11-5. Tony, kind of a strange question, but I'll ask it. Why are you calling a timeout with 1:07 to go in a 6-goal game?
Well, I just think just to a couple things. One is calm your players down. Tell them to keep their head up. Let's say we're not going to go scrapping for loose balls. We're not going to get hurt. We're not going to do anything dumb. We're going to keep our mouth shut. We're going to be good sportsmen. We're going to spread the field out. We're going to be in a stall situation, so you're going to have to be in the attacking goal area. You know, this is just a good reminder to your kids that let's win with class. Let's stay safe, and let's just get this minute 17 off the clock and go home. So nothing as far as they're not rubbing anything in or anything like that. No, this is strictly for those Bainbridge kids there, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page here at the end of the game. And
that's certainly the sign of a veteran coach. And you mentioned earlier, Jack Visco has been certainly doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I've been at Bainbridge since 2002. You know, came off a state championship in 2001 at Mercer Island. Just won a few at Bainbridge. You know, they haven't won in a while. I think their last state championship was 07. Made a couple of appearances. You know, I don't know if it's the fact that the other teams are catching up to them, or, you know, they're not a big high school. They're only drawn from the island there. If maybe they're just, you know, the talent is a little cyclical on their part. Or I think more than anything, it's the other teams catching up, and they play bigger schools than they are. And, you know, I think, again, we're finally moving towards parity at the top level here.
What is it about a place like Bainbridge that brings out such a rich tradition of lacrosse? I mean, we see a lot of teams on this side of the lake all kind of within a 10-mile radius of one another, who tend to be kind of the powerhouses. And then all of a sudden you have to go across this big body of water over on Elliott Bay there to get to Bainbridge. And year in and year out, they're always there, aren't they?
Yeah, and you know what it was? It was a community of club players, you know, men's club players whose sons were growing up and they wanted to play lacrosse. And, you know, one of the first coaches out there, Trip Goodall, got things going. And what you started getting was kids that started picking up the stick when they were, you know, in middle school. You know, and that was something that just wasn't happening at the other schools. There's only 4 other schools in the league, and we were all picking up our sticks in high school. And you start getting that extra experience, and you got the ball rolling, and now, you know, they start, I think, down to kindergarten on Bainbridge Island. And, you know, they got a great women's program, great men's program, still a nice collection of post-collegiate club players that come back and help out.
And they are 17 seconds away from winning yet another ball game. This will take their record to 10-3 on the year in league. Shoots and scores. And that was number 14 on the play, Ben LaRoche, the sophomore. LaRoche with only his 6th goal of the year. And now we have 7 different Bainbridge players on the board tonight as they take a 12-5 lead with 12 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah, another reason for the timeout. Let's get somebody on the scoreboard who hasn't scored in a while. It's good, too, for your team. We had that game this weekend with my 5-6 girls team. We had 4 girls that hadn't scored all season. We were ahead by quite a lot, and 4 girls that hadn't scored all season got goals. It was great.
Nice. Always a plus to get those players on the board. Just noticing here, too, and I don't know this for sure, I'm guessing that Ben and Max LaRoche might be brothers.
They sure are, and we got the Caldwell brothers who are identical twins, so, you know, it's a family game.
I was just noticing that Ben LaRoche just passed his senior brother Max in goals scored for the year, too, 6-5, so maybe a little bragging rights within the house as this game ends. Hey, either way, they're both on a winning team tonight, right?
Yeah, you're first in line for seconds, I guess.
Exactly. So Bainbridge with a very impressive 12-5 victory tonight. Again, outscoring Eastlake 5-1 in the second half, coming away with a big victory as they are now 1 game away from concluding their season. Both of these teams are. And both of these teams are ultimately playoff bound.
Right, they're both playoff bound. I think Eastlake's going to have a bit of the tougher path, and I think the door's been open for Issaquah maybe to take that #1 spot. Looks like Bainbridge is solidly the #2.
Really nice job.
As we are watching these players, they're about to do their customary post-game handshake. Again, we're broadcasting from up in the booth here. I don't know if there's going to be any kind of a post-game interview. I'm guessing probably not tonight. And once again, I want to remind everybody that the Washington State High School Lacrosse Game of the Week would like to thank our presenting sponsor, Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk Ready to Drink is a delicious protein-enhanced beverage that helps promote workout recovery, lean muscle growth, and sustained energy. From the first face-off to the final whistle, every fast break, ground ball, and set play is a battle. Protein helps you win it. Find Muscle Milk at your local convenience or grocery retailer or at the gym. Muscle Milk, workout recovery fuel. Give me strength. So once again, we'll keep this short. We want to give you a goal total for both teams tonight. Bainbridge coming away with 12 goals on the game, half of which were scored by 2 different players. Greg Shea with 3, Jake Nostman with 3. No big surprise there, right, for either one of those two?
No, and especially Nostman. He's always going to get his goals.
Adam Gargas with 2 goals and 2 very impressive goals at that, both coming on face-off wins. And then 1 goal each for Ingrassi, Ben LaRoche, Jack Frickleton, and Eric Nim. Eastlake, 5 goals tonight, 3 of which coming from Davis Caldwell. The senior ends the night with 26 goals on the year. Also scoring Austin Caldwell, his brother, with his 21st goal, and Josiah Fonte scoring his 29th goal on the year. Eastlake record falling to 9-5 overall, and Bainbridge now with a 10-3 record in league play. Once again, your final score tonight, Bainbridge 12, Eastlake 5. This game has been presented by Muscle Milk. Be sure to tune in to our next game, which is the State Girls Championship this Friday, May 17th at Mercer Island High School between Lake Sammamish and Lakeside. The Lacrosse Network Washington High School Game of the Week is produced in cooperation with the U.S. Lacrosse Washington State Chapter, Washington High School Boys Lacrosse Association, and the Washington Schoolgirls Lacrosse Association. Special thanks to Tim Exton from 715 Media for providing production services for tonight's broadcast. Also, special thanks to Mike McQuaid, the Sports Information Director for U.S. Lacrosse Washington State Chapter, Eastlake High School Athletic Director Pat Mangasser, and tonight's coaches, Chris O'Doherty from Eastlake High School and Jack Visco from Bainbridge Island. Tony, it's been a fun year. We're down to some championship games. Again, we'll be broadcasting the girls on Friday and then the boys on June 1st.
Looking forward to both contests.
Should be a lot of fun to watch. So again, for Tony Olney and myself, and for Tim Exton, Teresa Whipple, and everybody else involved with the broadcast, it's been a fun night here. Your final score once again, Bainbridge 12, Eastlake 5. We'll see you on Friday night right here on the Lacrosse Network.